Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into our 2000 day world tour. My name is TheBakedDean. If you don't already know, I do live stream on Twitch every single day, so come join if you'd like the best community on Twitch. I do want to take a moment before we go ahead and jump in to say thank you for everybody who comes in daily and hangs out and creates such a positive environment and just a good time in hardcore Minecraft. But today will be a special day because I will be walking through the builds, the lore, the redemptions, everything that we've completed so far. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Guy and chair, roll the clip. And hello everyone, and welcome to our 2000 day world tour. We're gonna go through some of the builds, lore, and all of the channel points that have gone into making this world what it is. Let's go ahead and jump right into the first build of the world, which is our iced over base here. So you see we covered this in thousands of blocks of ice. We cleared out a ton of deep slate to make sure we could cover up all the walls and get all of our storage in here. Full storage system. We store almost every item in Minecraft that you can possibly think of. Now, if you look up here behind the ice, this is the key piece to our world, our frozen Leviathan in the wall. And this is inspired by the game Subnautica. Big fan of that. Wanted to make a little bit of a tribute build. A lot more lore to come with that, and I'll explain more of that lore here in just a minute. Now, you might be wondering, why are there cakes? Why are you walking on cakes? The reason we're walking on cakes is because if it's your birthday and you are in chat, then we will celebrate you. Now let's take a little bit of a walk through this first build here. So if you kind of go down this corridor, walk into these doors, you do see that we have a snow bunny area, where we have a bunch of these guys hopping around. We have a temp 2 here. It wasn't easy getting these bunnies to negative 58 here in the world. No. So it wasn't the easiest thing in the world getting these bunnies here. However, we got the bunnies down there, and you can actually name them if you want. But that's why we have one called attempt 2, because that was the second attempt of getting them down here. But this is our iced over cave. It's full storage system with the lore of the Leviathan and all that. Now, the next build that we did was our Hall of Fame build. If you take a little bit of a stroll up here, we have like a blue and black, a little bit of an icy feel to it. So if you earn channel points, you get to have your armor stands in the Hall of Fame. Now we have a bunch of different rewards, but this is a pretty sought after one. So you can choose any color armor that you want, any kind of head that you want. You can choose to hold any item, and then we have the beans, which is our carrots, and then the spoon, which is our totem. You redeem this and you get to be a part of our world forever. Now this is the first Hall of Fame that we built. Now tuning over with our little transition area to the next one that we built is our lush aquarium area. So you can see down here we have axolotls that are just going under us here with some tropical fish, even some puffer fish down there. We have all of these different individuals who have redeemed places in the Hall of Fame there, and you can see all these people as well. They get to stand over a bunch of different axolotls and tropical fish and all that kind of stuff. So that's our storage / Hall of Fame area. Now if you take a look over here, we have these stairs which start at negative 45. They go all the way up to the surface of the world. Before I show you a couple of the farms that we have going on over there, I do want to turn your attention to this area right here. Now you might be like, wait, this is a little bit different of a vibe, a little bit different of a look than your base. You'd be right. This is actually tied into the lore of the Leviathan. So if you take a trip up these ladders, and we have a big open room, but we have a big map on the wall. We have some guardians in here that are here for testing, and we have a huge tunnel going on through here. Now we'll take a trip down this tunnel in just a second, which will be very, very fun. I'll show you what's at the end of the tunnel. But before we do that, let's continue up the stairs. So if you look at our spawn area, this is where we just set up camp at the start. Everything we've done is pretty much underground here, but we do have a few things up here that I'd like to show you guys. We have our sheep that are all hanging out in here. A lot of sheep. We needed a ton of wool for our Warden fight. Get him! Let's go! Let's freaking go, dude! Let's go! 69 wardens killed! Our warden fight was really fun. It was a great time. But I'll show you a little bit more of what we have around here in the village. We have our tree farm here. We have our villagers that are actually original to the world that are still in here that we have tried to keep safe. We have our creeper farm over here, which is a pretty basic creeper farm. And we have where you come down here and collect some of the gunpowder right down here. Nothing too crazy. We use a ton of gunpowder for TNT and for rockets. I pretty much stay using rockets. Over here we have our carrot farm, which we actually don't use our carrot farm too much anymore because we can actually buy our golden carrots from villagers. Now over here we have our automatic smelter. We have our iron farm, which is one of the most efficient iron farms. We will never ever need iron again. And now we'll go ahead and travel onto the nether. So let's take a little bit of a peek at what we've done here in the nether. So this is actually the collection for the iron farm. The iron golems come through the portal and they drop tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of iron. We'll never run out. And right here we have our gigantic gold farm. We'll show you a little bit of how this works. It's actually one of the first farms that we built here in the world. All you got to do is shoot one of these guys with an arrow, and all of them come directly after you. So this is our gold farm. All we got to do is stand in this one place. We get a bunch of XP coming to us. We can mend up our tools if we want to. And if you take a little bit of a look down here, you can see all the items that they drop are going into these droppers and dropping them down below. So if we go down below, you'll see that these droppers are just slowly dropping items down here. We actually created this system. The items that are being dropped up there by these zombie pigmen are just falling directly onto this ice. These pistons push them over onto these cobwebs. They fall down, and then you'll see this slime pushes it this way, and then this slime pushes it on the corner here where it can be picked up by the hoppers. And the only things that really get stored in here are gold ingots and gold nuggets, because that's all we really care about. Now you might be wondering, what's that below you? Well, what's going on down here? Now this is our bartering farm. Now we actually almost died to our bartering farm. Okay. Yeah, so we almost died due to these guys in here, but we stayed alive. Let's go ahead and check out what else we have here in the world. The next farm we want to showcase here is our wither skeleton farm. So if you look on over here, you can see these guys getting just flung to the middle here and falling into this little collection area. So with this farm, it actually broke before, but we ended up fixing it between last world tour and this one. So you can see these guys spawn up here, and we ended up putting pressure plates and covering it in glass. Last time it was not covered, and it had carpets, so it ended up burning. So we decided not to use carpets for our wither skeleton farm, but this is kind of how this farm works. If you come down here and just start to hit these guys, you can see a bunch more of them get flung over the edge, and you get tons of wither skeletons here. And this is without doing a full perimeter. This is just slabbing up just a little bit around. We just slabbed up the fortress. So we have 45 wither skeleton skulls. Another one, we actually just cleared this out a few days ago. This is one of my favorite farms that we do have. So next up on the list, we decided to build a wither rose farm. How this works is we have a big platform up here. You look on down and you see all these endermen that are getting really mad at an endermite. And if you kind of take a little bit of a peek down here, you can see that there's an actual wither that is stuck between this bedrock here. And as these endermen fall in, they get exploded by the wither. And every time a mob is killed by a wither, they drop a wither rose. So you can see in that short amount of time, we've gotten over 2.5 stacks there from this wither here. This is a really good farm if you're trying to farm up some black dye. If you're building any farm that requires wither roses, it's a great one to build. All right, before we get back into the big builds, I want to showcase one other farm that we did in the last 1,000 days. So if you come down here, you come next to this villager, you say, hey, what's up? You give him a quick high five. You go ahead and fly on up here. You can see above us, all of the raids spawn all at once up on this platform, and they go ahead and fall down right here. We have our friend the Phantom right there. He's just chilling. All you got to do is just come here, swing your sword a few times, and before you know it, the raid is completely finished. So everything drops in here. You see we got a bunch of emeralds, redstone, and totems, and we complete all of this here. Now with this farm, the great news is it completely, you continue to use it. So you go down here, you visit this guy, you come back up here, and you can go for it again. Now as soon as you want to go ahead and leave, you just have a little bit of a bucket of milk and you're good to go. And this is a way that we get a bunch of spoons or totems. It's just a really, really cool farm, and we really enjoy it. So now that we've gone over some of the farms that we've done and a couple of our builds, I want to highlight a few more of our big builds that we've been able to accomplish here in this world. So starting with this tunnel, if you look over here, this is where we are now. We have a long tunnel that goes all the way over to our science facility. Now a little bit of a lore behind the science facility. These guardians, they started doing tests on them, and as they were doing some digging, they found a giant Leviathan that was stuck frozen in the wall. Now they're trying to do some tests to see if those guardians are what turns into the Leviathan. So let's go check out the research facility through our supersonic tunnel that we go over to here. So here we are with our gigantic research facility build that we have guarded by Mr. Stanley and Mr. Frederick. This actually doubles as a guardian farm. So if you take a walk down these stairs, past these pillars that have these tropical fish in them, you see that we do have some guardians that do spawn here and give us a lot of drops. So this is our science facility. We'll take a little bit of a look up here. Above it, you see we have a gigantic satellite up at the top for the researchers, and we have 4 little quadrants that are going to have their individual builds in here. But this is our research facility, and in here we do have our guardian farm. Also, we do have 2 charged creepers that are also overseeing the area. Here's the first one here, and the second one right over here. So they're just hanging out, guarding this area as well. So if you go through here, we do see that we have the guardians that are just spawning in here. This is what the scientists are doing their testing on. So this is our research facility. Now this is just a build that we wanted to do because we feel like most people do some sort of a monument build, and we wanted to make ours integrated with our primary build. So there's going to be more lore to come in the future on the Leviathan. So after completing our research facility build with our ocean monument, we actually had somebody in chat redeem 150,000 channel point redemption, which is right here. This is our spaceship that we built for Guy in Chair. You can see we have the big rockets next to it attached to the gigantic fuel tank. We have the actual space shuttle here. It's about 60 blocks all the way up to 270-ish blocks. If you look under these little rockets, we have a bunch of lava that's getting ready to be shot out of it. You actually take a trip over here. This is how we actually enter the space shuttle here. So we have a little bubble column which acts as our elevator. So we go up to the top here, and you just go ahead and walk through, and let's go ahead and go to the main cabin of the ship here. So as you can see, we have our mascot, which is A-Rod. Guy in Chair says he is the GOAT, so let me know in the comments if you agree if Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT or not. But you can see here we have a bunch of different levers and buttons. We got to be careful with some of them so that we don't accidentally take off. So this is the build that we actually did for Guy in Chair because he spent so much time saving up his points in chat. We decided to make a huge build for him. And the cool thing about this shuttle is actually chat helped me with the exact dimensions of the actual space shuttle, and this build took us a little bit of time, but it was so worth it. I'm very glad at how this turned out. So the next redemption is our tree house build. This is another redemption from somebody in chat. They let me know they wanted to have a tree house and that they wanted to have a bird in it. We'll go ahead and take a little bit of a trip up to the top of the tree house. We go, this wraps around of the stairs, wraps around the tree, but you can see here we have a full room in our tree house. This is actually where our birds hang out. So we have a bird that's looking out this window, a bird that's looking out this window, but this is our tree house. This is where we have our birds chilling up in the tree. We have a few chairs and tables, and here's our bird cages and our paintings, just a nice little area. So after we exit our treehouse and we go back down to the ground floor, we have another redeem from somebody in chat who wanted me to build a ship. So as you can see, there's the person who redeemed the ship up on top, and we have the ship in all of its glory down here. You see that we have a little bit of a walkway and a pathway. So let's go ahead and explore the ship a little bit. So if we travel on down here, you can see that we have the actual llamas that are at the front of the ship. This is also another thing that you can redeem in the channel, where you get to actually be a part of the ship. We have a bunch of redemptions, but the main redemption was actually to build the ship. So we have different rooms here. So we have a bedroom right here. We have another bedroom right here for some of the crew. Now if you go in, here's the actual main captain's quarters, and if we go down to the bottom here, you see that we do have the cannons that we have shooting out to anybody approaching. We have some dead prisoners that are in here, a little bit of a shark cage, and it's a little bit like there's some cobwebs. You can see we have our cannonballs that are ready to shoot off into the distance there as well. And the last part of the ship I wanted to highlight is this ladder here that actually goes up to the crow's nest of the ship. But if we go all the way up to the top here, you see we have a couple of flags waving. We have our captain who's overseeing and just making sure as we kind of approach the shore that we're all good. This is our ship redeem. That's it in all of its glory. One of the last builds we want to go ahead and showcase here is our villager trading area. It also doubles as our bee farm. So if we take a walk over here, we have a few different houses. Now, if you watched the last world tour, you would have known we only had these three houses. We didn't have the giant pyramid. We didn't have the bee place. We didn't have this potion bottle. It was just these three, and we didn't have any villagers inside. We have this all decked out with villagers. So if you take a look over here, this is where our villagers actually came from. These two were the ones that created the entire hundreds of villagers that we have in here. So we have our gigantic pyramid, which we'll go into here in just a moment, but we'll go ahead and start with the first one, which is our library. So if we take a little bit of a step into our library, you can see that we have a bunch of different villagers who give us trades. They give us mending, they give us glass, but they give us a bunch of different books, everything that we could possibly need. The next villager house actually is where we get the majority of our emeralds. 1 iron ingot for 1 emerald, and we have a ton of iron that we get, so it's very, very easy to get unlimited emeralds. The next villager house that we have is our farmers. So if you take a little bit of a glance in here, you can see all of our farmers trade us the golden carrots, which are our beans. That gives us our food source. That also gives us some cake and some different items there as well. We have our 4th villager trading area. Now you might be thinking, I don't see any villagers in there. Now if we take a little bit of a trip up to the cork of the bottle and we go ahead and travel down here, you'll see that it slowly brings us down into this area right here. Now this is all of our clerics here. They trade us for redstone and for lapis, a bunch of really cool trades down underground underneath our potion bottle. Alright, so now that we went over the 4 houses that we have for the villagers, we have our final area, which houses every other villager that's not already accounted for. We have all of our masons, we have any villager you could possibly want, all housed in this one area here in this gigantic pyramid. Now we made it a pyramid and we made it look like Illuminati because we have a bunch of masons in here, so we said go ahead and make a actual pyramid here for this build. So as you can see, we have a big monument in the middle of our emeralds where we can come, we can grab a bunch of emeralds if we need it. But yeah, we did go ahead and make this build into an Illuminati tower because of the masons. So this build that we have here is our bee sanctuary. So let's go ahead and take take a walk in here. You can see the bees are already popping out of their nests, and anytime that they go ahead and lay their honey, it shoots out the honeycomb out of here, and there are a ton of flowers and a ton of different blocks in here to make them happy. So as you can see with this one, that one is full, so it should be giving me some honeycomb here soon. And then we have each of these areas, which are kind of outposts. You can see that we have 3 total outposts here, which overlook the bee farm, and then our big ol' area of our villagers as well, where we do all of our villager trades and get all of our honeycomb. So there it is, our 2000 day hardcore Minecraft world tour. Thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out and being a part of our 2000 day world tour. If you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to go ahead and leave a like, as well as sub to the channel. It lets me know if you guys did enjoy it. We can go ahead and do more of this as well. And make sure you leave a comment. What was your favorite build in the world? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll be responding to all of the comments down below. If you guys are new around here and haven't been able to stop by our Twitch channel, make sure you do that. The link is in the description. Go ahead and pop over and just say, hey, what's up? I'd love to see you guys. We are live every single day. But again, thank you guys so much for coming in and hanging out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.